had put together mail drops for my past 2 through-hike attempts. I knew what a monumental undertaking it would be to get them all ready, and I had been dreading it. I was delightfully surprised when my friend and neighbor Judy offered to come help me. Of course I said yes. Not only would time go by quickly and I would get it done in half the time, but I would also get to have fun visiting with her in the process. She ended up coming over for 3 days straight, plus an extra day after that. Bud was out of town, and we decided to make a party of it. We had coffee and brunch every day that she came over. We packaged vitamins, toilet paper, coffee, electrolytes, and wet wipes. We packaged food, made mailing labels, sorted snacks, and then organized it all. Bud put together boxes and even shared some coffee cake on our extra day of work. In no time at all, we were finished. What a weight off my shoulders to have that done. Thank you, Judy and Bud. Hello, Rebound here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about how thru-hikers get their food while they're on the trail. There are basically 2 different ways. The first way is to buy your food along the way. The other way is by doing mail drops, where you actually send yourself food along the way. And that is what I'm going to do. It's what I did for my other 2 hikes. Personally, I don't want to have to worry about finding a way into town if it's not right on the trail to resupply. To me, that would be very stressful. Also, the kinds of foods that hikers usually buy themselves to eat while they're on the trail has to be light. While there are some outfitters and even some grocery stores that will sell freeze-dried meals that are already cooked, you just add boiling water and that's all you have to do. Those are very expensive and can run you probably $10 to $15 per meal. The other things that hikers buy if they resupply along the way is ramen, mashed potatoes, and rice sides. Or they will buy tortillas and put chicken packets or tuna packets, sometimes cheese inside the tortillas. They can get very creative and inventive out there. I personally know that I would get sick of that and that I don't do well on a lot of those processed foods. So I have decided to dehydrate my meals. I also dehydrated my meals on my first and second hike, and it worked really well. So I wanted to talk to you about how I do my mail drops, what I put in my boxes, and talk a little bit about my mail drop list and how I went about doing it. I have, I think, 35 mail drops. The first mail drop is not a mail drop. It is a bag of food that will actually go in my pack for my first section. And I will show you that list after I get done showing you what is in my boxes. In my boxes, I have toilet paper, which every thru-hiker needs, and don't want to worry about buying that along the way. And this worked very well. I never ran out of toilet paper, except for one time I came close. And then right as I came to a road crossing, someone had Trail Magic there, and they had things that hikers might need, and one of it was toilet paper. They call it Trail Magic when someone helps you with something, gives you a ride into town. Sometimes trail angels will leave water at the heads of the trail, or they'll cook hot dogs and hamburgers, and it's just there, and you come down at the road crossing. And so that is what they call Trail Magic. But I like to think that God provided for me through these trail angels when I needed that toilet paper. The other thing I have in here is something called scrubs. It's a little cloth with soap in it, and you just add water and you cleanse yourself. You do not have to rinse with these. My neighbor, who has a husband who is a trucker, said she is retired. She has started going with him, and that's how she started using these. And she says she doesn't feel sticky at all. So I'm trying these. They're new this year for me. In the past, I've used wet wipes and they always left me sticky. So then I'd end up putting baby powder on me to get rid of the stickiness. So I really have high hopes for these. I've not tried them yet. I bought the Scrubs brand and I also bought one that was a knockoff brand, both on Amazon. The other ones are thinner. So when I try these, I will give you a review. The other thing I already have in here are all of my snacks. I was able to buy a lot of snacks for very cheap at a little local store we have here that sells dented cans and crushed boxes and things that are not first quality. Some of them are nearing their expiration date, but anything I bought there has tasted good and it's been edible. And I got these for an incredible deal. They put them in Ziplocs and they sold them by the pound. So that was a huge blessing. Other things I've got are trail mix. I bought some trail mix at Aldi and I added some coconut flakes to that. I got some dehydrated apples here, and these came from my neighbor Ray. She has an apple tree, Arkansas black apples that are absolutely delicious, especially when they're dehydrated. So I dehydrated them all, and I'm going to enjoy these very much on the trail. Thank you, Ray. The other thing I have is Starbucks Via because I like coffee. And I am pretty much a coffee snob. We grind our beans fresh here every day. But for some reason, even though I don't like Starbucks coffee, I like the Starbucks Columbia flavor. I was able to get these for 79 cents a box, and I think there were either 8 or 10 of these in each box, so it was a steal. I don't know how much they cost if you buy them at Walmart, but that was an incredible deal that I got at our little bit and dip store. I'm also carrying powdered milk to go in my coffee. I also have collagen peptides for my joints and bones and muscles, and this I will put in my coffee. I also have sending myself toothpaste. The toothpaste I don't have spread out in my boxes. When I see that I'm nearing the end of my tube, I will ask Bud to put another one in my box. That way I don't get one of these sent to me and I still have half a tube, so I've got to carry a full tube and a half tube. I am also probably one of the few out there who wear deodorant out there. It does make a difference, people. Lots of people don't. That's okay. You can do whatever you want, but I like to feel put together when I go into town. And when I tried to go without deodorant, I was stinking before I ever left out of town, and I don't like to stink. My showers are the thing that I miss the most while I'm out on the trail. So this makes me a little bit more comfortable. These two, I'm going to just have Bud send them to me. Just say, hey, could you put another deodorant in the next box? And he'll just toss one in there. I've got them already purchased already and ready to go. The other thing that I like to have when I am in town to feel put together, especially this time. In the past, I just cut my hair off into a pixie. This time, I'm growing it out so that I can wear it in a ponytail. Because my hair is gray, I'm sending myself blue shampoo periodically. It's just in this little container that I got from Amazon. I also got these little bags from Amazon. The other thing I have in my boxes are vitamins. My friend Judy helped me pack up my toilet paper and my scrubs and my vitamins. She had the idea to tape them all together so they wouldn't be loose with masking tape. I've got my vitamins, and I also sent myself some melatonin. I've got large boxes and I've got medium boxes. I can't tell you off the top of my head how much these boxes are going to cost to ship. They're priority mail. If I send them somewhere and for whatever reason I can't go to pick up that box, as long as it's not opened, I can call them and have them forward it on to the next place or send it back home for free. For me, it will be worth it to pay the shipping since I've got food that I like, which will be more nourishing and healthy than what I would get if I was eating ramen and mashed potatoes. Again, I'm not knocking anybody who does that. I understand it. I wanted to go to the extra trouble to do what I needed to do in order to know that I would get the nutrition that I need in order to keep my body running. My drops are going to come every 3 to 5 days. On each box, I have labeled the city where it is going to be sent. This was mainly for my purposes when I had all of the boxes spread out on the floor and I was filling them. That way I could know, based on my mail drop list, how many days worth of each thing I needed for each drop. So each drop is individual. I didn't just fill a bunch of boxes with a certain amount of stuff. Like some have 3 days worth, some days have 6 days worth. On the other side, it says, I wrote on here, no, my friend Judy wrote on here, hold for AT Hiker, and then my name. Judy helped me write all of the stuff on the boxes that needed done, and also she helped me address all of the labels that are going to go on the top of the box. So basically all Bud will have to do is get my bag of food out of the freezer according to its number and dump it in the box, tape it up, and then put the label on the top and then take it to the post office. So everything is ready and organized for him. Also wanted to thank you, Bud, for putting the boxes together that day. It helped so much, and I am so grateful. I also wanted to mention that Judy was helping me fill all the Ziplocs with my food, and I saw her whispering down there, and I said, Judy, what are you saying? I can't understand. And she said, oh, I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for your food at each one of these places. And I just wanted to thank you, Judy. That meant so much to me. I will never, ever forget that you did that for me, and I know you'll be praying for me while I'm on the trail. I cannot thank you enough for all of your support and all of your prayers. And I know my other neighbors and friends are also praying for me, and every one of you out there who are praying for me, leaving kind comments, and also supporting me. I can't tell you how much it means to me. There are a few other things that I forgot to mention that will also be put into my boxes. The first thing is my AWOL guide. I have torn it up into pieces for each section, and it will go into the proper box. I just folded it over and put it into a Ziploc. That way I don't have to carry the weight of the whole book. This is the way I've done it on my past 2 hikes, and it worked great. So I'm going to do that again. The other thing that will be in each of my boxes are a few extra Ziplocs. When I am hiking, I use Ziplocs for so many different things. Instead of using stuff sacks, all of my stuff is in Ziplocs, so from time to time they will need to be changed out. Plus, there are different things as far as food goes that you might need a Ziploc for. The other thing that I'm taking is conditioner. I've got it in a little cylinder container, and it's in a little Ziploc in case it leaks. But when you go into town, often the hostels will have shampoo, but many times they don't have conditioner. And I want to look put together when I'm in town, and so I'm sending myself some conditioner. It's a luxury item, but I'm going to use it when it comes in the box that day, so it's not like it's any extra weight that I'm going to have to carry. The other thing that will go in my box is when Bud puts my food that's in the freezer into the boxes to be mailed. I have all of my tortillas packaged up in 3s and Ziplocs. All he has to do is pull one of these out of the freezer and throw that in the box. The other thing that I'm putting in my boxes is electrolytes. You can buy electrolytes at outfitters along the way, and many people do that. I did that a few times when I was on my first and second hike, but I really could not stand the taste of them. I've tried many different kinds here at home, and I didn't like the taste of any of them, and I couldn't really tell that they were helping that much. I am not sponsored by Element. When I saw people starting to give commercials on their YouTube channel for Element, I thought that probably they didn't taste very good. And so sooner or later, my curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to go ahead and try them. And I really like them. And these are the only electrolytes that I could ever tell a difference, that they made any difference in how I felt. So I'm very excited about having these to send myself on this hike this year. And I think they're really going to make a big difference. Mango chili is my favorite flavor. It sort of has a tart edge to it.
The last thing that I forgot to mention is a razor. Because when I go into town, I don't want to have to go to the dollar store and buy a package of razors before I take my shower. I don't like to have hairy pits and hairy legs. There are a lot of people out there that do that, but I don't like to look like a Sasquatch. I don't like for my hair to look like Sasquatch hair, and I don't want to smell like a Sasquatch. I'm not judging those of you who look, smell, and have hair like a Sasquatch, but being a Sasquatch is not for me. I guess you could say I'm sort of high maintenance hiker trash, but I just like to feel put together when I'm in town. Showers are what I miss the most when I'm on the trail, so I want to do what I need to do in order to feel good.
Next, I'm going to show you what the bags of food look like and how I've labeled them. I'm also going to show you my mail drop list. This is all of my dehydrated food in the freezer. Underneath that, there is food up to the bottom of this. And so my entire freezer is packed pretty much. Maine is down at the very bottom. This is bag 2. It's going to be sent to Blairsville, Georgia at Neal Gap, which is Mountain Crossings. It will be my first mail drop. If you see in the right hand corner, there are 3 1/3 days food. That just means 3 days worth of breakfasts and suppers and 1 breakfast. I've got some lunches that are in some of these bags. The others I'm going to buy along the way. It gives me a break from having only dehydrated meals. I am sending myself some tuna packets and tortillas and mayonnaise because I don't like the tuna without the mayonnaise. These right here, you can see it says bag 1 of 2. That means that there are 2 bags that are going to need to go in this mail drop. This is 6 1/3 days worth of food. It's going to be sent to Fontana Dam. This is bag number 5, or mail drop number 5. And I got this thing on here that says complete. That means that it also has the lunches in it. There are 5 different places, which I will tell you about when I go over my mail drop list, where resupply is either expensive or there is not a lot of selection. And Fontana Dam is one of these places, and that's why I put dehydrated meals in here for lunch. So now I will show you my mail drop list. This is my mail drop list. As you can see, this is the place where I'm going to be sending it. That's the one I'll have in my pack. The first mail drop is going to Neal Gap, Mountain Crossings. This is mile marker 31.3. This is how many days worth of food I will need in that box. This is the address of the place I'm going to send it, along with the phone number. This is the distance from the trail. Mountain Crossings is right on the trail. This is the page number for the AWOL guide that contains all the information of the place that I am sending it to. This is the AWOL guide. I've used it for all of my hikes. I will also be using the Far Out app, but this has been invaluable if you are an analog person that needs to see things, paper in your hand. This is invaluable. It also tells you how to address your mail drops. It's got the profile here. It's got the mile marker, and when you get to a place that has services, it will list the page number on here, and then you go to the page number and it gives you more details. It's got what services they have, the phone number, their address, whether they will allow you to have a mail drop sent there. If it's a hostel, it will say whether they will pick you up at the trail. So, this number here, which is the estimated miles that you think you can do at this time on this part of the trail. So, if you're going 12 miles a day, what I did here is I took the mile marker of the next drop, which would be 69.4, and I subtracted that from the mile marker of the one I'm coming from, which is 31.3, which gave me 38.1. And then I divided that by the number of miles I think I might be doing at that time. So I divided 38.1 divided by 12, and I got 3 1/3 days of food that I estimate I might need. I can tell you that most often I did more miles than I estimated, but I never came up short on food. There were times where I would have extra food that I would have to either put in a hiker box or just toss, but this list served me very well. The places that do not have very good resupply or that are very expensive, or places that you might not be able to resupply as frugally, I'll put it that way, are the Nantahala Outdoor Center, Fontana Dam, and I've got them all marked here in red, Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, and I can vouch that it is true that these three places, do not have very good resupply, or they're very expensive. For example, at the Nantahala Outdoor Center, there's just a little grocery store and also an outfitter. At the outfitter, you could get the freeze-dried foods. At the grocery store, they might have sort of a skimpy supply of ramen or something like that. So most often it could be done, but if you're ever going to send your boxes, these are the places that you would want to send them to. There are 2 other places on the list of places that you might want to send yourself boxes, and I never made it there, so I can't say if it's still true or not. One is Caratump, Maine. The other is Monson, Maine. So that is what my mail drop list looks like. I also forgot to mention this column right here. This tells Bud how many bags I have in the freezer, so he can double check himself. Okay, here we've got mail drop number 3, which was marked on the bag, so he'll know to get that bag, and he picks it up. If he doesn't see on that bag that it says bag 1 of 2, he can also look here to double check and know that he needs 2 Ziploc bags of food to go in that box. So that is about it. This has worked extremely well for me. It is an incredible amount of work dehydrating all of the food. If you have any questions about mail drops, then please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your support and prayers. And until next time, this is Rebound, signing out.